So everybody thinks that like the tariff thing is over, and I'm here to tell you it is not. Small businesses are still struggling with this whole thing, and this is my like 6-month update as to how all of this tariff nonsense, craziness has impacted my business and me. And spoiler alert, it has ruined my year. Wasn't actually on my radar of things that would spoil my year. I thought maybe the TikTok ban or something, but no, it was the tariffs coming out of left field. So if you don't know, in April, the current administration in the US decided that there were going to be tariffs on like every country that we import goods from in the US. And how do I say this delicately? It just felt like they were being handed out sort of willy-nilly, like, oh, 150% on China and 15% here and 30% there and whatever. As someone who knows a little bit about tariffs from actually importing goods myself, it was a confusing time, and it is not in the news anymore. It took up a lot of the news in like April, and now everybody's kind of forgotten about it if it's not directly relevant to your job like it is for me. And I think also I've kind of heard some people mention like, oh, I thought the tariffs were supposed to crash the economy and they didn't. Well, I have a little small explanation as to why. There have been many pauses in the implementation of these tariffs throughout the past year, and some of them are still on pause, some of them are not. The big one with China that could really impact the economy badly is on pause until I think November 9th right now. So still kind of hanging by a thread. Don't know what's going to happen there. It's not good for my mental health. But just as a couple of other examples, I import items from Korea and India, and there are 15% tariffs on Korea, which has increased the cost of my planners a lot. So I had to raise the prices on my planners, and I probably will have to raise the prices on my planners again because I didn't know how much I needed to increase my prices when I did my price increase. I just knew there was going to be a tariff increase. And now that I know it's 15% going forward, I am probably going to have to raise my prices another 10% to cover it, which sucks. As far as like goods from India, that is I'm sorry, but a show. They are 50% right now from India. I was able to work out something with my manufacturer where, because there's such decreased demand in India, they are offering me my pre-tariff pricing for like a larger than usual order so that at least I can get my goods in at like the prices I'm used to. But obviously I had to put more investment up front in products that I don't necessarily need right now, but just in case the tariffs don't go away, I wanted to stock up at least for most of 2026. So that's a good situation as much as possible, considering 50% tariffs is the other option, but a bad situation considering that I had to put up money for products that I don't need right now, which means I'm not able to order other products that I might want or need. So that sucks from a financial perspective. It's really hard to manage the finances in my business when everything is like so uncertain. Just to transition to China, over the past like 6 months, my sort of work life has sucked because there's been a 90-day pause from April to May, and then a 90-day pause from like May to July, and then like a 90-day pause from July to like, I don't know, whatever. And now it's November, that like the tariffs have been pushed off until. So I've been sort of living on these like 90-day, 60 or 90-day increments of like, okay, I know I can get in this order before potentially there's new tariffs, but I'm not sure I can get in an order after that, which has caused me to stock up and over order on products in like as much as I can, which I don't regret because at the time I didn't know if the tariffs were going to get extended again. And I would hate to just gamble and think like, oh, well, they've gotten extended 3 times, so this must like, there's just going to be another extension. And then it doesn't. And then there's 150% tariffs or some even more ungodly number, and I am screwed, and I literally can't order those products again, and I need to figure out how to keep running my business without a product that brings in like 10% of my revenue all of a sudden. I would much rather have like a longer runway. So that has caused problems. I also described at length in another video how like the tariffs kind of put me in a bad headspace that aren't entirely responsible for the mess ups I made with my iPad cases, but are definitely responsible for a chunk of the sort of bad situation I got myself into with my iPad cases. So that was really sucky. I basically rushed production on my iPad cases because I thought there were going to be tariffs that would make it impossible to stock those, and I thought there was a huge demand for them that there really isn't, I'm finding out. So that's a big bummer, and I just wish that I had been able to like sort of think it out more and take my time with developing that product and putting in that order, and instead it was just a bad time and I made a bad decision. So that really sucks. So kind of the like concise way to put all of this that might make it a little bit easier to understand how badly these tariffs have messed up my business this year. I normally like run my business with no debt, and I'm very proud of that, and it makes it very relaxing for me to know I'm not paying interest on things and I can just reinvest my profits, and instead of like taking home money, I can just put it into growing the business. And that makes me feel good because obviously I'm not like wasting money on interest. I don't owe anyone anything. It means that there's less like pressure on me to make a certain amount of money every month, so I have more flexibility and peace of mind. And that's how I normally do things, but because of the tariffs, I needed to stock up on products to ensure that I would be able to keep running my business should the worst happen and the tariffs make a product no longer viable, which then leaves a big hole in the revenue my business consistently brings in, and then makes it hard to pay my ongoing bills because I've kind of built up an infrastructure for my business that relies on the amount of revenue I consistently make. And so I basically need to have product in order to stay in business. And so I have over ordered in order to make sure that I can not have basically like an existential threat to my business all of a sudden if there's new tariffs implemented on a dime. And what that is translated to is I am like currently over $600,000 in debt. And that is so scary. I know it's going to be fine. I trust myself and I trust that my business is going to keep operating as normal, but it is so not how I wanted to run things. It's not like something that makes me feel good. It keeps me up at night. It sucks so bad. And it has definitely ruined my year to a degree. So that is just like so uncomfortable for me, and it has caused like real issues for me in my business. I'm like, now that I've invested in over ordering these products, it's given me less flexibility to respond to like trends or products that I think are popping up and becoming like that could be a really good opportunity for my business. So it's definitely limited my flexibility and my maneuverability, which is a big advantage of my business. So it's definitely like taken a toll, other than having to pay interest, obviously, but also having to sacrifice one of the things that makes my business like strong. So like, even though it may sound like, oh, the tariffs like are fine and like the economy didn't crash like everyone was saying, it's not to like fearmonger, but like just the worst of it hasn't happened yet. But the people who it's going to impact the most, people who import goods from abroad, are very well aware of it, and we're not okay. If you are also a product-based business out there struggling with this, please let me know if you have any suggestions, or if you generally have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Thanks so much for watching till the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe.